Yes, all power to the people. This is Sunday, December 20th. This is the Vanguard Show on podcast, and my name is Malik Ishmael. I'm the host, and Kathy's away today. But we have worked very hard today to get on Brother Zulu Sharod, the chairman of the new Afrikan Black Panther Party. And this is a brother that's been doing some great work in the community up in Jersey as well as around the country. And to be honest with you, I've admired this brother for a long time, brother. And welcome to the Vanguard Show, brother.
All power to the people, man. And certainly I echo the sentiments too. I have admired your work when I was in the enemy prison as well. Here's a golden nugget for you.
Okay.
I was a member of the New Panther Vanguard movement in 1998 when I was on about 19 years old. Brother Kwaku Doreen brought us in. We formed a chapter in Southwood State Prison in 1998.
Well, you know what? Actually, Sister Neelam Sharma told me that you were actually a member of the prison Vanguard. And yeah, so because your name came across a couple times when I lived in Los Angeles at the headquarters. And brother, you've been well respected, and you carried that forward even after the demise of the Vanguard movement with the new Afrikan Black Panther Party. First of all, give the people your history in terms of Zulu Sharod, how you came up, and then how you developed the new Afrikan Black Panther Party.
All power to the people. Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to speak to your audience. I think the people should know that at one time I was a lumpen element, a street element. I sold drugs. I engaged in predatory behavior in my community, where I took stuff from people that I'm not proud of, and as a result, I ended up going to the enemy prison. And 1999 was my last time on the streets, and I caught what could be considered a petty robbery. And the enemy judge gave me 50 years in prison. It was at that time. Prior to that, I had a superficial level of revolutionary consciousness. I understood the Black Panther Party, big leaders. I understood the programs they put in place, but I wasn't grounded in revolutionary practice. But in 1999, when I ended up in an enemy prison, I ran into some political cats that you may be familiar with. I ran into a brother named Ojari Latalo. He's an anarchist, but he was BLA. He helped politicize me, and so did some other individuals. Once I got involved in politics in the prison system, it opened up my whole perspective, changed. My relationship to the community changed. My relationship to individuals changed. My relationship to the world changed. In fact, my relationship to my prior self changed because that self died and I became a revolutionary. So prison saved me. I know people will find this oxymoronic, but that's where I found my freedom. I think Huey talks about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, I came out of the tradition of a Bunchy Carter, the tradition of a George Jackson, those individuals that engaged in criminal activity in their community. When captured by the enemy, they became political and revolutionaries.
Okay. And I noticed that the new Afrikan Black Panther Party, how did you come up with that concept? Because you've always reached out to the elders for recommendation, counsel, but also you're a great studier of history. How did you come about with the new Afrikan Black Panther Party?
Well, let me tell you, in 2004, I ran into Comrade Kevin Rashid Johnson and Comrade Tom Watts. And we had a group already in Trenton State Prison called the New African George Jackson Brigade. Comrade Rashid was in Virginia developing some kind of political culture in Red Onion State Prison. And at that time, our writings sort of ended up in each other's cell. So we wrote to each other, and we thought of a way of mobilizing, galvanizing the prisoners, bringing them back into political light. So we started the Black Panther Party. The new Black Panther Party.
Right.
And we reached out to Malik Zulu Shabazz when they had their headquarters in Washington, D.C. We sent seven letters explaining our political and ideological orientation and what the purpose and direction of this new revolutionary organization will be going in. They did not write back to us. So in we had, 2005, I wrote to Russell Maroon Schultz. And I said, look, comrade, we about to start the Black Panther Party, and we would like your advice. I wrote to Suniati, I wrote to Mumir, I wrote to Jalil.
Right. Oh, I think you got the sound.
I apologize for
that.
Oh,
it's okay. All right. I was going to let you know. All right. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, though.
So I wrote to Jalil. We wrote to all of the principal active political prisoners. What I mean by that is we got a Baranza Bowles. He's not as active as Jalil Mutakeen.
Right.
Constantly putting information out there.
Right.
And so we wrote to these individuals, and they wrote for our newspapers.
Okay.
But the only one disagreed with the Black Panther Party name and symbol was Russell Maroon Schultz.
Okay. All right.
That in a book that we published called To Find the Tune, that you won't be able to survive 6 or 7 months using that name.
Right.
And I understood his thinking, because the Black Panther Party was repressed. It was repressed viciously by the enemy state. And whether you was in the prison or on the streets, the enemy was going to pounce upon you just because you was a Panther. You had the George Jackson phenomenon in Southern California, the George Jackson effect. So I told him, and I explained to others, that the purpose of a revolutionary organization is to accept the eventuality of being crushed by the opposition.
That's right.
Because that gives you the ability to prepare for their repression, to prepare for the counterinsurgency that's going to come. And so I said to him and to others that the Black Panther Party, because he had multiple political pieces out there explaining why the Black Panther Party degenerated.
Right.
And I understood. A lot of comrades, let me say this right up front.
Okay.
Because I'll be speaking to some elder Panthers.
All right.
A lot of comrades from that period are still smarting. And I understand that, because they felt betrayed, they felt their trust was violated. There was some behaviors that Oakland engaged in, and New York. Mutulu, no one's there in New York. Some behaviors, and some comrades are still smarting from that period. So when you bring up the Black Panther Party name, the first thing they do is look at you with a frown. Instead of a smile.
Right.
And so we said to ourselves that we was going to push forward, despite the objections that our elder comrades gave to us.
Right.
And so one day in Philly, I think it was the Republic of New Africa.
Okay.
They were throwing some kind of event in Philly, and our newsletter was on a lit table.
Okay.
And so one of the comrades said to one of our peoples out there, isn't these guys Marxists? You know why they So look, and he based this off of this. He based it off of seeing the name of a newsletter, New Black Panther Party.
Right.
And so they wrote back to us and said, look, why don't y'all change the name from New Black Panther Party to New African Black Panther Party? Yourself from the retrograde practices of the NBP at the time.
Right.
So that's how we came up with the name New African Black Panther Party, to distinguish it from a class perspective, not a race perspective. But we wanted folks to understand that the struggle is coupled with race and class. But our primary function is to destroy the enemy empire system. And we have to form joint cooperative efforts to do that.
Right.
And so comrades understood that. But let me tell you something, comrade.
All right.
No one thought that we would survive all of these years, because we did something different than anybody else.
Right.
Jalil Mutakeen went to prison as a result of his political practice on the street.
Right.
So did Romaine Fitzgerald in California.
Absolutely.
So there was an organization on the streets that backed them, whereas we founded an organization in a prison cell with a piece of paper and a pen.
Wow.
And 15 years later, we have survived. I was the first one to come to the streets as a ranking member of the new African Black Panther Party.
Right.
We had three or four priors, but they ended up reverting back to criminal activity, going back into the enemy prison system.
Right.
So last year was the first time that we was able to bring the new African Black Panther Party to the streets.
Okay.
And let me tell you, Kyle, it's been one hell of a ride.
Oh, yeah. Well, brother, I've been so proud of you and the work of the new African Black Panther Party, especially because a lot of groups that call themselves Panthers and, are recognized as Panthers, but there are a lot of current groups that, they're all symbol and no substance. They're all platform and no program. And you have not only a platform, but you have a continuous program in the community. And you've built a relationship with the community as opposed to other groups that have built a relationship with the media. Tell us why this focus was of yours, of the New African Black Panther Party, to relate to the people and relate to the community.
Well, we had this struggle in the prison system where we would have political education classes in the prison yard. And the primary focus of the class was to get us to understand that revolution is not about Shaka Zulu or Conrad Ishmael. Revolution is about the people.
Right.
And so in order to get the people involved in political life, you have to go where they at. Right. And for me, Shaka Zulu, the people are the ones that are living in bad housing, the ones that are experiencing a bad educational system, the ones that are being denied adequate health care. These people live at the bottom of the protection system. They are the cast off. They are the floor mat of the world. And consequently, we as revolutionaries, if we don't organize them, Conrad, guess who will? The enemy power.
Right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Just look at what they did, and we got thousands of examples. I could point out examples around the world, but right here in the United States, J. Edgar Hoover specifically empowered drug dealers in order to offset and diminish the political impact that the Black Panther Party was having on the community. So it was used as a counterinsurgency weapon to break up the revolutionary formation of the Black Panther Party. Yeah.
Well, similar, I was going to say, similar, if you study other people, look at the Boxer Rebellion in China, how they dumped tons and tons of opium to neutralize the people. And that's what essentially they did in the black community here in America, no?
That's right. That's exactly what they did. Let me tell you something. Even during the Boxer Rebellion, that's when Mao and them first got together. I think the Communist Party formed around 1921 in China. Mao was an anarchist at that time.
Yeah. That's true.
Surprised, right?
That's true. That's true.
That's right. Even during that time, there was a clear political trajectory. You had 6 imperialist powers eating up and breaking up China. You had France, Britain, Germany, United States, and Russia. Even under Stalin was imposing a form of neocolonialism because he was sitting in people from Russia to explain to Mao and the communists how they should lead their own struggle. Mao talked about that when he said that Stalin made some mistakes in trying to control us. He did not follow the principle of self-determination.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So those lessons there are important for right now. You know, if we don't at least oppress African people, if we don't get control of, if we don't wrestle political power out of the hands of the black capitalists in our community, out of the hands of the white capitalists and whoever else is exploiting our people, we'll be in this position 10,000 years from now talking about why capitalism is still around. And so you got to go amongst the people. You got to, what Mao say? Mao said the gorilla is the fish and the water is the people.
That's right. You said that. That's right.
Without that.
That's true.
Let me tell you something. The revolutionary cannot exist without the masses. Look what happened in 1969
That's true.
in Southern California, December the 9th, 41st century.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Everybody would have died that night if the community didn't come out to support the Black Panthers that fended themselves for 5 hours.
Well, brother, you just mentioned some events and people that were my mentors as well. Wayne Parr and the Freeman brothers. And we would always be very conscious of what happened in 41st and Central and L.A. in general. But it was really a microcosm around the country. But that's a great point too.
That's right. So the new Afrikan Black Panther Party have to be one with the people.
Right on. And tell me about the programs that you have, community programs, and how people can support them.
Well, we have several community programs. First, let me say right here on your program to your audience that last year we made some mistakes. We put out a GoFundMe to get a bus to start the Bus to Prison program. Now, we got the bus. The bus was taken about 2-3 months ago by the pigs, and we in court trying to get that.
Okay, all right.
But I wanted to be self-critical to your audience to let them know we still have this program that we want to unroll within the next few months as soon as we can get the bus from these pigs that's down at City Hall.
Right on.
Our other programs, we have, obviously, we have the food program.
Love it. Yeah, love it. I really, really admire that, brother, because, again, I don't care what your political perspective is. If you hungry, the people hungry, then they can't make revolution happen anyway.
I think it was Conrad Amilcar Cabral who said that people don't respond to their stomach. I mean, people don't respond to ideas by itself.
Right.
They respond to their stomach. That's right, brother.
That's true.
That's right. So let me tell you, Conrad, that the food program is an essential aspect of Panther politics.
Right on.
Because the food program don't belong to you and I who are Panthers. It belongs to the people.
That's right.
It's the mothers. It's the mothers and fathers that get up every day to come out and get a volunteer to serve their community.
Okay,
and
right on.
The same thing is happening. They did that in the Black Panther Party back in the day. The same thing is happening on a smaller level in our community here, where the Black Panther Party doesn't necessarily have to have its members there to do the food program, because so many volunteers have come and stepped up because they see themselves in relationship to that food program.
Right on.
It's not an act of charity, but empowerment. Because
everything you just talked about, we went through in LA as well, brother, because we got the community to support us, and we give away anywhere from 500 to 5,000 bags of free food at a time. So I admire what you and the new Afrikan Black Panther Party have been doing every day, every week. I see it on the social media posts. And again, we come from an era that, we didn't have a social media. And so the thing is, I think you have massively, been able to show the masses of people what the work is in the community, and how can people support help support the programs of the new Afrikan Black Panther Party.
Well, the most important thing they could do is obviously visit the IG and Facebook pages. The second thing they could do is start a UPM chapter where they at.
Okay.
Start an organization where they at that focuses on bringing people into political life and developing serve the people programs. I think the greatest contribution they could pay to any revolutionary organization is to develop another organization that will walk in lockstep against the enemy capitalist system. So financially, obviously, any organization would need money.
Absolutely.
But my basic focus is getting people to understand that the most important aspect of solidarity work is putting boots on the ground. Like Fred Hampton said. So if they want to support us, they could go on the NABPP page, on Facebook, on IG. They can also support us on the UPM pages. We have a new website that'll be out within probably 3 weeks. Comrades will be able to see all of our work concentrated in one spot. So that's how they can support us.
Okay, and also, brother, tell me about the new newspaper that has been produced. It's very important. We're black. The community is so bombarded by the reactionary propaganda of the establishment, but to have a revolutionary proper propaganda newspaper is very important. Tell us about the newspaper and how can people subscribe.
Well, first, let me say your subscription is in the mail. It may take a little while because of Christmas and all that kind of stuff. The mail is kind of slow. But the newspaper have always been around as an instrument of organizing oppressed people throughout history. I think the masters of it were the Bolshevik Party, where they were.
Yeah,
Every revolutionary organization.
Right. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's right. So for us, we developed a paper in 2006 called Right On.
Okay.
Now you know Right On came out of the split.
Mid 70s, 80s.
The 70s.
Yeah, 70s. I'm sorry, 70s. That's right.
It came as a result of the split between the
East Coast, West Coast with the Panther Party, right?
That's right. So they started the Right On newspaper.
Right. But later on, I think it became a pop magazine with Cynthia Horner.
Exactly. All power to the people. So we put that paper back out there.
Okay.
And it was pretty successful in the prison system because we were able to mobilize actions around the paper and get prisoners involved in political study groups, political actions, and all that kind of stuff. But it died sometime around 2010, 2011. Our paper died Right On. And so for us, we always wanted to get one back out there.
Right.
And our dream is a national paper, the Black Panther national paper.
Okay.
And so I brought the idea up to some comrades to redevelop the paper, but this time in the tradition of revolutionary intercommunalism that Huey laid down. And the comrades agreed. In fact, the comrades kind of challenged me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
That's right on. So I took nearly 30 days.
Okay.
Writing a whole lot of stuff, put the paper together, put the pictures together, sent it out to Virginia so the comrades at the paper production could get it the way it's supposed to be. And voila, we have the Black Panther newspaper. And I'm so proud of it because it's an electrifying document.
Well, you know, one thing that's key is that the paper really extends far beyond the community you serve, because that paper will literally go around the world as it has been. And how can people, I guess, get in contact with you to get a copy of this paper?
Well, right now we're putting together, like I said, the website, the PDFs and all that stuff will be up there, but they can go on Zulu. Let me just lay out my email, which is ZuluS6003 @gmail.com. If the comrades want to subscribe to the paper, I will send it to them. The next one hopefully will be out in 3 weeks. And the paper is not just for the Black Panther Party. Right. Like you said, the original Black Panther Party, they welcomed insight from the Young Lords.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Young Lords published in that paper. Yeah. So did the Young Patriots. So did other groups.
AIM,
so did You know, so for us, this paper is really a revolutionary paper for all the revolutionary organizations in the country and around the world who wants to submit a theoretical piece. We have no problem with that. So this revolutionary paper, hopefully, it will grow to encapsulate the whole country. But right now, we're so excited to introduce it to the world.
Right. Man, I'm so happy and proud of you, brother. And I definitely am looking forward to get my copy as well. And you let me know what you need on it, and I got you. Are you guys gonna eventually establish a office or base of operations, a physical office base of operations?
Well, we was chased out of 3 already.
Oh wow! Okay.
We didn't own it, but we last year we developed a relationship with a community center. They felt our politics was too radical for them, so they told us we couldn't use that space anymore. We had one at the library. Eventually, It started off with a security guard there.
Okay.
3 weeks later, it was 6 police there. Now, every time we come to have our meetings.
Wow. Well.
So, that's right, brother. So we had to leave. So we had to leave that place.
Wow.
But right now we're looking at a house.
Okay.
Right, where we service the people at. We want to turn that into our first official headquarters. Hopefully, sometime next year, we're able to work the community land trust that they set up here in North, so the community cooperatively can own property instead of the absentee landlord or the vicious, greedy black capitalists in our community. And so we're coming together, various other progressive groups, to see if we could get a couple properties and turn that into a real base area of social, cultural, and political power. But it takes baby steps. Because
you're right.
Even in that, comrade, the contradictions amongst various individuals and groups is also pronounced.
Right.
Because with us, everybody know we are Panthers and what we represent. Our position is known to the world.
Right. That's right.
When these groups affiliate with us, they have to be ready and willing to accept the political consequences that the enemy state will leverage against us as a revolutionary collective.
Right.
If they're not prepared for that kind of action, then they're in the way.
Right.
They should do what did Malcolm said they should do. Malcolm said they should get out of the way, get back in the basement.
Right. That's true. Absolutely, brother. And I wind up on you with Eldridge Cleaver. He said it's important to discover, or I should say develop, specific coalitions for specific purposes. Because, this is a very racist country, as you know, brother, but aside from the race issue, really it's about people. And you've really encompassed the continual tradition of all power to the people. And that's very admirable, I feel. Admirable.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
But I stand with other comrades who made sure that they inculcated in me the right revolutionary values. And so I'm here because of the millions and millions of revolutionaries here and around the world who now soak the dirt, the soil of their countries because they gave their lives for freedom. And so when I stand up, I don't see myself as a revolutionary in America. I see myself as a revolutionary in the same sense that Che Guevara saw himself as a revolutionary.
Absolutely.
And that he related internationally
right.
to all oppressed people around the world. I know you read his letter. Isn't that a majestic?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He said to his kids, he said at the end of that letter, you should always become upset at any injustice that take place around the world.
That's true.
So that's how I see myself. Let me tell you how breaking this nationalist grip on our thinking in the early days was hard. Because I would get in the political education class, right? We have a study on, let's say, the BLA study guide, or we may read we may look at the Battle of Algiers or something like that, right?
Right.
I would get up and start talking about the Roma people.
Oh, okay.
And so the comrades would be like, hold on, what's going on here, brother? And I would say, look, man, these people are suffering the same way we are suffering. They didn't go through slavery, but in Europe, they're at the bottom of the class system.
That's
in
right.
Asia, the Rohingya people in Myanmar at the bottom of the class system. And a lot of people couldn't understand that thing.
Right.
But it took time, because one thing for certain, if people read, it exposes them to a whole new world, a whole new set of ideas. And so when people begin to relate to the brother and sister in Cuba, the brother and sister in Angola, the brother and sister in South Africa, they are relating not from a racial perspective, but from an international proletarian class perspective. And that's how I see myself, as an international revolutionary.
Well, Bobby Seale always used to say the term cooperational humanism, and you definitely seem to encompass that, brother.
Thank you, brother. All power to the people. Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, and I know you got a meeting in a little bit, but tell me, brother, how can people reach out to you and email? Just give me all the information that I can share with my viewers.
All power to the people. Thank you for that, comrade. Again, they can reach us at Zulu at 6003@gmail.com. Go on Facebook and IG. They can also reach us. Hopefully by the end of the night, they'll be able to reach us with a new Proton account that we're setting up.
Okay.
But beyond social media, my only suggestion is get involved in the community.
There it is. There it is.
Meet the Black Panther in the community, wherever you at in the country.
Okay.
If you're interested in the Black Panther Party, your first action in showing that you're interested is to get involved in the community right now, because
there it is.
Everybody is suffering.
Right.
Housing, evictions on the rise. Last week there was something like 30-something million people that face eviction as soon as this COVID thing lifts.
Right.
You need people in the community fighting for housing rights.
Right.
You need people in the community fighting against charter education, schools in our community that are ripping our minds and programming us to become robots of capitalist industry rather than participants in our community's redevelopment.
Right.
So there are things happening in this country right now that white comrades, Latino comrades,
Right.
Black comrades can do to
Right.
show Panther that they are serious and leveraging power against this enemy capitalist system.
Well, at the end of the day, I'm going to end it with, again, you just mentioned Che. He said, words are beautiful, but it's action that is supreme. And you've definitely put in the action and the work. And you keep doing what you're doing, brother. And you got 100% support from myself, the Vanguard Show, and other comrades that have also been looking at what you're doing up in New Jersey, man. So great work, and all power to the people to you, brother.
All power to the people. Let me say this, comrade.
Okay.
For all the other comrades that never in our wildest dream did two revolutionaries, Kerry Rashid Johnson and myself, ever think that we would be received warmly amongst the veteran Panthers. This yes. opening of Panther love, this opening of respect, this opening of camaraderie for the new Afrikan Black Panther Party by the elder Panthers mean the world to us, because these are our examples right here. And Panther politics, if it ain't Panther politics, it ain't politics.
That's it. That's it. You're right. I love it. Well, brother, look here. I know you got to go, but I appreciate talking with you, man, and just keep up the good work. I'm going to be, shooting you some emails and how to get the newspaper and all that, brother. But again, have a great day, brother, and I'll be talking with you soon.
All power to the people. Long live the new African Revolution.
Right on, brother. All power to the people.
All power to the people, brother.
Okay, my brother. Have a good one now.
You too, brother. All power to the people.